And into the game we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Clash Rift. Let's see how this is gonna get happening and what's gonna go down here. I'm very intrigued. I'm very excited to see. I do need to get people switched around here. There we go. I love that Rek'Sai skin with the jet ski. I think it's so funny. Classic J Brews, Ward Pixel Brush, and head on back for the sweeper. But with the pretty standard fan from red side and blue side, we got two members of blue side already in lane. Like not even really looking at the buffs or anything. This ward isn't even actually seeing the buff. Like this ward needed to be like here, right? Just a little bit closer down so that you can see if they're invading and you can see if anybody's actively pulling your blue buff, because with this you're not seeing anything there. I think that's something that needs to be thought about from the Malphite there. Whose board is this? Okay, that was the Nocturne even. I'm sorry there, Malphite. Nocturne put that ward a little too far up, and I hope that's something that comes back to punish them, honestly. And I think they warded a little bit too early, but then again they did have to get down to their red buff. Both junglers are starting on the bottom side buff camp where they can get the best kind of ward, and I think these are two junglers that really just want a full clear. Nocturne's ganks don't really turn into much until level 6, when he can use the paranoia and jump in from halfway across the map, it seems. The Rek'Sai can start ganking at level 3. So I think Rek'Sai's looking for the quick clear to be able to get into these lanes and start trying to build a lead for the laners themselves. I think probably the easiest place for the ganks to happen would be against the Yone. And if you get Grumbo ahead on Twisted Fate, I've said it before, I'll say it again, Grumbo is a mid laner that excels at roaming. If you can help get them to a spot where they are actively, consistently having priority in lane, then you're going to have a better game, because Grumbo doesn't have to sit there and babysit his lane the whole time. And just like I was thinking, this has been, so far, a more aggressive bot lane. But J-Brews found the Nocturne in the jungle, picks up blue buff, and walks away. J-Brews just 3-buffed that Nocturne. Gangplank was able to walk down also, just out of having the priority there. Now they're waiting. They missed Prey Seeker onto the Rift, and nobody saw it. That's fine. Totally good. But this has been a very aggressive bot lane out of red side, just like I was thinking it would be. And Clausen just puts out so much damage. He's making sure that the seeds are in the right place to really get things going. That Comet is coming in so handy, just really pokey, especially onto the Soraka, who you want to be poking out. Rek'Sai finds the Nocturne in his own jungle yet again. There's the flash gold card. Flash over the wall. Rek'Sai is going to chase first blood onto the Nocturne. Yone is going to recall back into the mid lane and try to disengage from that fight. But holy crap, J-Brews just has this Nocturne's number at the moment. There's some good damage going down there from Grumbo with the Twisted Fate. Gold card into the Q, into the auto attack. This could be Grumbo going down. There it is, Grumbo going down. Just being a little too forward there. It is going to be a little bit rough playing into the Yone. Yone always is. It's just about as bad as fighting into a Yasuo, but they are brothers after all, so you got to take that into account. There's Zippy, They hit really hard, and they just do a lot of damage really quick, almost like deceptive. It's deceptive how much damage they can actually do. However, in this matchup so far in these lanes, every lane is up in CS. Tristana did just clear out a wave, so the CS has kind of swung in their favor. We saw it last game. They had Red Side had a significant gold lead early in the game, just off of playing smart and farming. And that gold lead really showed up later in the game, and you could really feel it. They ended last game with almost 25,000 gold up, which is a ludicrous gold differential. We're not seeing too much vision really anywhere on the map. In fact, Red Side has no vision on the map whatsoever at the moment. Yeah, they see what's in the lanes and directly where they're looking. We do have a pink ward down in bot lane now, so Kazim was able to clear out a little bit of vision there. But that is a shockingly low amount when, if you look at, it's almost the same on blue side at the same time. Yeah, it's one pink for one pink down on blue side anymore. I think we just lost some. I think some blue side trinket wards just went down. The Gangplank is level 6, so now everybody has to be a little bit more cautious on blue side about trying to pick those fights, because that Gangplank ult can come in and ruin your fight pretty quick. Looked like Twisted Fate grabbed the wrong card and ended up with a blue card as Yone dashed in. It's a little unfortunate. I want to know. Yeah. So we're Gangplank stacking the Grasp the Undying really well. It's a little bit easier to do on Gangplank because you can proc it off of your Q. So you hit a minion you hit some minions a couple of times, and you just walk in and Q your lane opponent. Easy stack. Bruce missed the blast cone over the wall, so they did have to use a burrow to get there. But that should be all right. Red Side is going to claim this early Mountain Drake here. And Nocturne was nowhere to be found for it, so it's not even going to be that big of a deal. The blue side bot lane stepping up, acting like they were trying to find a way to pressure him a little bit, but the threat of Rek'Sai plus the bot lane that has already been very aggressive towards them anyway. Yeah, you just got to back off there. You just got to give that. Tristana is still up in CS, but then again, we did see her just up, or we did see Ashe just up helping with Dragon. So that little bit of time out of lane is going to be felt, but only for a minute. That should be a pretty easy differential to make up. Especially when they're as aggressive onto that bot lane as they are, or as they have been. Ult from Yone going in, and that is Twisted Fate going out. I know that there's the adage, but like amongst junglers, of don't invest in a losing lane, but you have to kind of weigh it out. Of that's 2 kills that have gone over to the Yone at this point. At what point do you invest just to stop what could be a really big problem late game? And that I'm not sure of. Rek'Sai is up on the top side here, gets the knock up. The Gangplank ult is there. Rek'Sai ults as well. And Malphite thought that they were going to be getting out. They used their ult to dash away to safety. But the Rek'Sai ult point and click follows you wherever you are. Is Nocturne? Okay. I thought Nocturne was going to get executed in the jungle there for a second. But the heal comes out of the Gromp. They're going to grab Scuttle Crab here, and red side is looking for Herald. Over here, trying to grab Shelly. Yone's trade pattern has been just so effective onto Twisted Fate. There's a little bit of a trade going in here. Is this something they're going to go all the way in on? Ash Arrow is available, but not going to get used. Zyra's ult was also up there. I think they're trying to hold on to it as a disengaged method, potentially. Nocturne coming around the backside. There's the Paranoia onto Ash. Good flash out of the way. Ash Arrow is going to help Zyra get out as well. That's both flashes and heal for red side bot lane. Where the Soraka had just used heal, but both of the bot laners there do have flash still available. Gangplank absolutely just asserting themselves in this lane. Up about 25 CS, and that is a significant amount of CS. If you think that each kill is worth about 15 CS, that should tell you roughly how important that is. So that's almost 2 kills worth of gold just in minions there that this Malphite is down. And Kazan and Jabrews are wandering around together now. I think they're trying to get Crippletron back into the game, or at least try to get him some of the solo XP there. Yone is going in, gonna use the recall to get on back. And all that plate gold is solo plate gold. Straight over to Jabrews. Yeah, and Jabrews is first in the game to get their mythic, going Eclipse on the Rek'Sai here. So hopefully that increases their ganking power and we could see them mid just a little more often. With the other lanes doing as well as they are, I would really like to see Jabrews actually put some time and effort into the mid lane. Really just make the Yone think twice about trying to go in. Like a solid double gank could be helpful, like back-to-back ganks, but again, I don't know how much you want to put into a lane that isn't having a good time. Nocturne goes in. There is the Xayah ult to counter it. Yone is in and picks up a kill onto the Zyra. The rest of blue team follows up really well. I think that was TP from Malphite to get down there as well. So they're going to claim this dragon. Not a problem, but that does leave GP plenty of time to get a couple plates here on the top side. So you got to push your objectives while you can, especially with that demolish. This is easy 2 plates. You don't really have any vision on the rest of the enemy team, so Stonefeld's just going to back up and take the reset. They do still have teleport available as well. There is the Immortal Shield Bow for Gangplank. The really beefy build right now being Shield Bow into Essence Reaver. And then you can look Infinity Edge or Collector after that, depending on, I think it's kind of like season to taste. Honestly, I would rather go Infinity Edge just because you get that little bit extra oomph onto your Qs. But the execute damage on the Collector is just real good. So I have my opinion, but it could be a wrong opinion. Who knows? Let me know in the comments down below how that works out. Which item would be better to actually go there. But that shield bow is going to set Gangplank up in a big way. Oh, we got Twisted Fate coming up with the gold card, catching the Malphite. Malphite ultimate is down for a little bit longer as well still. Another gold card there is Flash. All right, so they got the Flash out. Another fight going in down here on the bot side. The bomb and ult from Tristana is going to be a little too much. Put the Ashe back to base there. Ult from Nocturne is going to be what helps run down the Zyra as well. 2 kills going over for blue side. And Tristana picking up both of them. 3-0 and 2 onto that Tristana. And Tristana's up about 20 CS as well. I mean, they're just going to push this tower down like it's not even a problem. Tristana is disgusting when it comes to actually picking up towers. Malphite ult into a Yone ult, disappearing underground, going intargetable, trading themselves over. Rek'Sai for Malphite. That's questionable to me. I mean, you gotta push some advantages, try to do what you can here and there. Keep the Malphite down. I'm all for that. But that seemed like a really silly place to try to fight that, when you know that the Yone has all of the priority in the world in that mid lane. And now they're even up at the top lane, pushing that tower in, pushing the minions in, and working, trying to get this tier 1 top tower for red down. Is Yone gonna get it here? Yeah, that tower is going down. Yone pushing that. I think it was 2 waves that were stacked up there. Yone's already on shield bow and boots. So they've got attack speed and some pretty decent damage going there as well. Grumbo getting some damage onto the mid lane tier 1 tower. But while they're doing that, blue side is getting the Rift Herald, and gold is practically tied up. They are 400. Blue side is 400 gold ahead. There's 2 red pink wards, like 2 red side pink wards in that little pixel brush there. So it's just another free 30 gold apiece. And I believe they're looking to use this Rift Herald mid lane. Yone is walking around with it there. They might actually be holding it until a little bit closer to Dragon to make them have to make red side make a choice. Do you stop the Rift Herald or do you go contest for Dragon? It is an Infernal Drake up this time, so a good Drake to have. I think blue side wants to get their hands on that a little bit more. That's going to make Tristana just that much punchier. Ashe ult is going to go a little bit wide. They were looking to try to catch the Soraka. But no Ashe ult connection means that they're going to not push too far. Had there been somebody there, they might have tried to push the advantage. Yone dashes in, gets stunned up by the Twisted Fate gold card, has to jump back. But Ashe still almost going down from the Tristana remote bomb. Where is Nocturne jumping? Nocturne is looking for some vision, trying to get in on somebody. No jump had during the paranoia there. Shelly's going down, trying to get the charge in on the tier 1 mid tower. That tower is going to go down. They did almost save it. That's a really rough burn to try to rush to save the tower like that. But just like I was thinking, they used the Shelly, like they used the Rift Herald there to really force a choice of, do you contest Dragon or do you let Shelly do her thing? And red side chose to deal with the Shelly, save the towers where you can, and that gave Infernal Drake over to blue side, who has extended out to about 1,000 gold worth of a lead. It's 3. They're up by 1,000 gold. They have 3 towers. This is the first outer tower going down that of blue team's towers. So it's the decision making is rough here. Red side is playing on the back foot. This Yone is big. and seems to be just exactly where you don't want her to be every single time. So you have to take what you can get where you can get it. But the calm, cool, collected, methodical playstyle that we saw from them last game, it just doesn't seem to be there this time around. And I'm not 100% sure why or what happened. But from what we've seen, you can see when Red Side is on champions that they are comfortable with and ready to go, versus when they're on champions that they're only iffy on. Malphite ults in. Here's the Nocturne coming in as well. Rocket Belt does get him away, but the flash does finish it up there for Nocturne. Yep. Rek'Sai flashed away, but Tristana had walked all the way up. Soraka is there now as well. Just not getting away from that. And here's Kazan out here trying to hold this tier 2 top tower. Does get some real good damage in onto the Malphite. There's Gangplank. Oh, I think they're just trying to get the wave cleared out. That way, kind of stops the push for now. But they do have another wave coming in right now. Yone hanging out mid lane. 4 levels up on the Ashe, and that's a little bit terrifying because Yone could just build up the knock up, dash in, and Ashe had nowhere to go. Gangplank was down bot side working on that tier 2 that tier 1 tower. But Nocturne coming down, plus the Tristana running that way. They are going to catch the secret agent back there. This Nocturne knew that somebody was around, knew that Gangplank was around. They just don't find him. So that was a good reset to take there, because I don't think you win that 1v2. For a matchup that started so one-sided, Rek'Sai into Nocturne, it's very quickly starting to feel like Nocturne has the upper hand when it comes to ganks, when it comes to just team fights in general. And I'm not sure exactly why that is. I think the more consistent engage off of Nocturne's ultimate of blinding everybody with the paranoia and just jumping on in is just a little more threatening. So Rek'Sai has to get the burrow, has to unburrow for the knock-up, and then has to stand in the middle of it to fight. Where is this Nocturne jumping? Is there any vision onto the Gangplank that Nocturne can get there for? Does not look like it. That's 2 ults in a row that we haven't actually seen Nocturne jump in anywhere. Oh, good smite from Japers on the Rek'Sai. That is the ultimate from Yone, Ashe, and Zyra. They do finally get the shutdown onto the Yone. Ashe is in on the Soraka. Twisted Fate's going to show up as well with the ultimate. And Gangplank picks up the kill, but that does put them, 4 of them, right here at Dragon, ready to go for when Dragon spawns. And it's about to come in here any second. So that was a good fight. That was a good chase down. You got their jungler, you got the support, you got the really beefy mid laner there. And that was a really good staggering of the CC, exactly how you wanted to do it, what you needed to do to take down the Yone. And now that Shield Bow is down, it might actually be a little bit easier to do that again and get the momentum going. But that I believe the shutdown gold went over to Zyra. So that's not exactly where you wanted the gold to go, but Zyra does have a lot of damage in her kit. So letting her get a little bit of gold to where she can actually build the damage items and get beefy for those fights, it's not a terrible thing. We are seeing a Executioners come through for Gangplank and on Ashe there. But Zyra has already completed a full Morellonomicon there. Just getting the Lost Chapter and going straight into the Morellos. That is going to be helpful in the team fights. You have to have the healing reduction for that Soraka, I'm sorry. And the Yone is going to be building lifesteal here shortly as well. Plus with the when the shield pops for the Immortal Shield Bow, you get all that lifesteal in the middle of that fight. The root does stop the Yone there. The knockup doesn't connect. So it was a good disengage there. I'm all over the place with my words right now. And you know, after that fight, after picking up their second dragon, gold is even again. This is a very close game. It feels incredibly volatile, that could just explode one way or another at absolutely any point. However, I would think that blue side does have a better scaling game. So the longer this game goes on, the more threatening that the Tristana becomes, the more threatening the Yone becomes, and just the tankier the Malphite gets. Where the longer the game goes on, Rek'Sai is eventually going to fall off. Ashe will eventually become Ashe and just have so much chase down potential off of the passive. And that's going to turn into some pretty good damage, like consistent damage. Zyra is going to get those damage items as well, so that's going to be a lot of consistent damage in those team fights. And the Gangplank will be around, but I don't think that I don't think they'll have the front line that they need when they need it, like how blue side's going to have that massive Malphite who's working on their Thornmail. They already have a Bramble Vest. I guess it's something to keep an eye on as the game keeps going. Looking at the actual CS amounts throughout the lanes. What is that? That is 70 CS up for the Gangplank over the Malphite. So that's not any different than what the matchup has been so far. It doesn't surprise me that as you get items, you just get more and more, like your farm just gets better and better because it's easier to clear out those minions. But yeah, then Rek'Sai up 40 CS on the Nocturne. Then you look at the mid lane and the marksman matchup, and they're down almost. Twisted Fate is down almost 100 CS on the Yone. Yone is just practically free farming, and the Tristana's up 25 CS on Ashe. So these little, I guess it's not little, that's the wrong word, but these advantages are felt when these champions get into the fights. Because though gold is, even in fact, red side is just about 1,000 gold up at the moment. It's where the gold is located or allocated onto the team that makes the most difference. So that Yone having that big CS advantage in those 5 kills is really going to be seen in the itemization. We just have to see how red side adapts and like tries to pivot around their strategies here. Both teams are pretty well stacked up for this dragon, for this dragon fight. Yone looking to see if maybe they can get the Q stacking over the wall, but the dragon's just a little bit too far away. Prey Seeker misses, so they don't really have eyes on anybody. That Gangplank barrel chain was significant. Malphite goes in with the ultimate, but they are alone, so that lets Ashe just do her thing. The Ashe arrow goes through and catches the Tristana and the Soraka in the backside. Yone goes in and finds the Ashe as well, though that is the proc of the shield bow there. Nocturne jumping in real late into the fight, and I think that was the linchpin there. If Nocturne had gone in when Malphite went in, that backline for red side would have popped, but no, Nocturne stayed out of the fight longer than I think they should have, and that led to a very disjointed, very disorganized fight from blue side. I think that's the sloppiest fight we've seen from them yet. But they're gonna take the Malphite and the Nocturne being done, being on cooldown, and they're gonna go push for Baron. They're gonna take this advantage and really try to get the momentum swinging in their favor. That was the teleport from Gangplank as well to get in here to join up for the fight. And blue team has to know that they're on it here, because they cleared out some vision before they actually started it up. But I don't think there's anything that blue team can really do to stop them from getting Baron there. Bruce is going to take the Scuttle Crab and jump on out of here. Whole of red side is taking a reset, grabbing up some items, and then they're going to re-hit the rift here. Rek'Sai did just get a Thornmail, so that's even more healing reduction showing up for red side, which is really important. I think that healing reduction also played really well into how that fight went down, because just about every member of the team of red side has some form of healing reduction, minus the Twisted Fate, but I think that's okay. Because Twisted Fate is playing from behind. They have to try to get that damage. And the 4 different sources are all different sources. So you have the aggressive in the Morellos and the Executioners, but you also have the reactionary in the Thornmail on Rek'Sai. So I'm okay with that at the moment. Twisted Fate is up topside with those Baroned up minions taking that tier 1 topside. And we are seeing like a 1-4-0 kind of split up on the map here. I think that red might be looking to get this wave pushing so that they can get Gangplank down into the bot lane, because I know this group likes to play in the 1-3-1 style a lot. But with the stacked up members of blue side as well, it does make it a little bit more difficult to actually get these minions into the tower and create any sort of like meaningful pressure. And Nocturne has just kind of been floating between top and mid in the jungle there, and they've been tracking the Nocturne really well. Red side has, just through the couple pieces of vision that they had. Yone's jumping forward, not finding anything off the knockup or the big sweeping slash there. So both sides still pretty well full health. Nocturne ulting. Are they gonna see if they can get in on the Twisted Fate? Nope. There is no jump there, but that did push Twisted Fate off of the topside tower. Taking a couple steps back, he's gonna link up with his minion wave here and keep the push going topside with the Baron buff. Red side does have a couple Baroned up candy minions, but Yone jumps in and is able to just open up the fight just how they need to. That's 1, 2. Is this going to be a third? Yeah, there's 3 kills off the bat, just off that Yone ult and Tristana hopping in. And Yone jumps even further off the dash there to chase down the Gangplank. Just about an ace. Twisted Fate did reset, not wanting to give up the full ace. Blue side pushing it down mid, trying to get this tier 2. And it was a valiant effort, but Baron has expired at this point, I believe. Yes. But with the entirety of blue team pushing it down mid there, I don't think there's much that Grumbo's going to be able to do to stop either the tower or the inhib actually going down. And now Nocturne is calling for Dragon Sin. We got 30 seconds till Dragon. This is sole point for red side, so they're gonna have to show up to contest that. But with that last fight, there are some pretty key ultimates that are on cooldown. The Malphite ult did just come off cooldown. The Yone ult is ready to go again, but there is no Tristana ult, and the Soraka ult is down for at the moment as well. So the Soraka ult should be back up in time for this next fight, because we do have Malphite hanging around. Tristana did take the full back, so I think if they're gonna try to burn this down, they need to go, because it is a 2v5 in red team's favor. And red team secures it. Malphite jumps over the wall looking for the steal. The Bruise is quick on that smite, and that is Soul. That's the Ashe ult. That's the Zyra ult. They do get the pick onto the Nocturne. Yone goes in, and that's the ult as well. He's gonna zip back, but goes down. Twisted Fate uses the Zhonya's to survive. That's the triple kill for Gangplank. Good ace, solid ace. They're gonna be running topside. That's 2 teleport topside to try to push this topside tower in and maybe crack the base. Got to get this wave pushing in. No minions, no damage. But there we go. Minions are there to start tanking, and they have a whole fresh wave coming in just behind that. We've got 4 seconds on Malphite, 8 seconds on the Nocturne. So those are the first 2 coming up, followed by Soraka. So they might be able to actually get something in here to get damage onto one of these Nexus towers. Good damage coming in on the Nexus tower. Nocturne is up. Here comes Soraka, followed by the Tristana. I think it's time to reset. But what a fight. You get Soul, you get the ace, teleport top, get inhib tower, you get inhib, you get a Nexus tower as well. That is such a swing in momentum in this game. Waiting it out, taking the good fight, knowing when to push off of those poorly timed resets that Tristana took. Had the Tristana stuck around, they might have actually had more pressure to try to push red side off of the dragon, and maybe secure soul point for themselves as well. Blue side is stacking up, trying to get vision control around Baron, so I think that they're looking for a Baron fight here. Blue trinket into the pit just to make sure that they haven't started it yet. It's gonna get cleared out by Tristana. That is fine. Red side does have another ward just over the back of the Baron pit wall there. Not really sure what's going on. We have 4 members of blue side just kind of hanging out around the pit. Now they're moving back towards mid. Yone was up clearing the top minion wave, because they do have super minions pushing on the top side of the map. So that's something they also have to be a little bit aware of. We should have Elder Dragon coming up, I believe. It's in like 2 minutes. There a way? Nope. But it should be up soon. But with that top inhib down, that creates a lot of pressure for blue side. Like, blue side then has to make the choice of, like, do we clear the super minions in our top wave, or do we go contest for Elder Dragon? So that was a good rotation there after that ace, after that fight ace. And red side's just gonna try to burn this Baron down. They clear out the wards, and they're going for it. Malphite and Soraka are coming in to try to maybe run some interference. Tristana is now joined the fight. There is Nocturne as well, but red team just burns down Baron, absolutely no problem. Tristana walking in, acting like she wants to find out, but she is not gonna mess around. All right, and the mid inhib is gonna be coming up soon. Gangplank instantly over to a side lane, baroning up those minions so they could push just a little bit faster. Looks like he's going to be trying to find a way to link up with the team. No, headed back down towards bot side. Um, I think based off that last fight, I think Gangplank has a lot of pressure just on their own after grabbing that triple kill. So the team's gonna take a reset here, and we're looking like we're coming real close to being full build for some of these summoners or some of these champions. Rek'Sai is practically full build, just that last slot taken for wards. Makes sense. Vision wins games, absolutely. Yeah, Gangplank sitting on practically a full build as well. That BF sword, I believe, is going to turn into an Infinity Edge. So that's gonna be a full build Gangplank that's just gonna be smacking you with crits off that Q. You're gonna feel it. We have red side stacked up, pushing in the bot lane with the Baron up cannon, with another wave right behind that. So they have a ton of pushing pressure right now, especially because Yone has to hang out towards the top side to make sure that super minions don't create too much of a threat towards the single inhib turret that they have back in base. Gangplank hanging out up top. They're in that wave there. Yone taking a ton of damage just off the casual poke there. I want to see something. Gangplank getting the teleport going. Yeah, Gangplank has procced their Grasp the Undying 21 times this game. And here is the fight for Elder Dragon. Yone dashes forward but misses the ult. The knockup from the Rek'Sai. But Yone goes straight back into the Zyra ult. Tristana does kill Zyra, but the only person to walk out from blue side is Nocturne. Red side grabs up the Elder Dragon here, and looks like they're gonna be headed mid lane, trying to catch that. Yeah, trying to catch the minion wave mid lane to get them pushing. You need minions to be able to get through that tower. They might just be going to get the top side inhib again. Yeah, Twisted Fate went up and cleared that minion wave, so minions are pushing again, stacking up in the mid lane, taking the top inhib. The top inhib. I think Rek'Sai's just gonna tank the tower. Yeah, the TP from TF to the burrow there, and that opens up the Nexus. Pardon me, and that's game. Wow, what a turnaround on that one. That was an absolute game of mental. So you had to stay strong. You couldn't back out or anything like that. That was intense. Again, very well played, Red Team. You took the hits just right on the chin, all through the early game. Mid game, you started to pick up a little bit of momentum, and then the two fights around Dragon for third point and then soul point absolutely turned that game around. If I had to give an MVP to anything, I would probably give it to Stonefeld in the top lane with that Gangplank. The triple kill was fantastic. Those Gangplank ults were exactly where they needed to be, exactly when they needed to be there, and just absolutely phenomenal. Very well done. Let's see what happens in the next game.